People look at stories through different lenses. I have my own personal take on some of these trending issues. Hi, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to In Case You Missed It. Hello, I'm Mariah Ramharack and welcome to another episode of In Case You Missed It on SportsMax.tv. The World Cup fever has been running high. We won't have to wait much longer now, though, as the things kick off tomorrow with host nation Qatar taking on Ecuador. Here on In Case You Missed It, we always have you covered, and joining me this week to preview the competition that we all look forward to every 4 years is a man who earned 33 caps for Trinidad and Tobago between 1997 and 2006. He, of course, also played for the Soca Warriors at the 2006 FIFA World Cup. I'm speaking about former Trinidad and Tobago goalkeeper Kelvin Jack. Welcome, Kelvin. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How are you enjoying your time at Dover Athletic FC?
It's been very good here. It's a club with good ambitions. Of course, it's a difficult league, but the boys, they've worked hard and they just want to succeed.
Yeah, and as a former World Cup player, what would you say you're looking forward to most for this World Cup?
The World Cup, I just believe, of course, it's the biggest sporting event in the world. Of course, I've played in one. So it's just something that, I really hold in high esteem. It's a tournament that brings out a lot of passion, a lot of pride. And of course, you just enjoy the football. So, it's a fantastic tournament with all the world's great players. And I can't wait for it to start, to be honest.
Who are you supporting for this World Cup?
If I'm honest, I don't really support any team. I'm just a fan of the game in terms of, looking at all these teams play. If I'm going to pick a team that's probably going to win it, I would say Brazil have the best squad. They have all the strength and depth. Their attacking players are, at a very high level. They have a lot of quality. So I would say Brazil, I would say France. I would probably, of course, Germany, they are always thereabouts. Spain, they would be a very good team. And, I'm probably going to say the Dutch because they've had a bit of a resurgence and they're playing good football as well.
Yeah, Brazil, they haven't won the World Cup since a long time, since 2002. Many fans think that this is their year. What say you?
Yeah, they are perennial champions. They've won it 5 times. I think they're well placed to win it this time. If they play well, and especially if Neymar plays well, I expect them to go very deep into the tournament. But it all depends on so many things. Anything could happen again. But if they play well and their attacking players perform, I expect Brazil to win.
What do you think of Argentina's chances? Lionel Messi, 35 years of age, he's never won a World Cup. How important is it for Messi and his team to win this World Cup?
Well, pardon me, I've left out Argentina, and it's almost an insult to Lionel Messi. So I do apologize for that. You're talking about one of the greatest players that has ever walked this earth. And Argentina, I think they're on a 35-game winning streak or unbeaten streak. So, of course, they must be among the favorites. And with Messi in the team, without a doubt, they will be one of the teams to be feared.
Well, Messi's greatest rival, Ronaldo, he's been in the news this week, but that's for another show. What about Portugal's chances?
Yeah, that is for another show. Interestingly enough, I did look at his interview, which was intriguing to say the least. Very interesting interview. But Cristiano Ronaldo has done it all. You're talking about a guy who scored over 700 goals in his career. He's won 5 Ballon d'Ors. He's the highest goal scorer in international football, and I'm sure he wants to add to that tally. He's the highest goal scorer in Champions League history. So we're talking about a guy who used to be successful, a guy who is a serial winner. And it will not surprise me in the least if Cristiano Ronaldo scores, a bunch of goals in this World Cup. He would have something to prove. Obviously, things are not going well with him with Manchester United right now. But, he's the type of character who would want to prove all his doubts as well.
Speaking about something to prove, do you think either of these players, they have to win a World Cup to be considered the greatest of all time?
That's a very good question, Maria. I think if you want to compare Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo to the likes of Pele and Maradona, I believe they will have to maybe win a World Cup. Now, Lionel Messi, make no mistake, this is a special player. This is a player that, reached a level that you probably not see in football. But you can't disregard the brilliance of Maradona and what he did in 1986. Fortunately, I've been able to see Maradona's career. I'm witnessing Lionel Messi's career. I'm witnessing Cristiano Ronaldo's career. And would they have to win the World Cup? And yes, I think they need to win the World Cup to be, Messi especially to be mentioned in the same breath of his compatriot Diego Maradona. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, he won the European Championship. Messi has won the Copa America, but that last step to the World Cup is what I think would, cement his place possibly as the best that has ever been.
Yeah, Kelvin, I've been in some heated World Cup debates with a colleague of mine, confident that a new World Cup winner will be crowned this year. What's your take on that view?
I just don't think so. I'm not sure, which one of the countries, are going to really break into that, because only 8 countries that have ever won the World Cup. So I think it's going to be difficult. If there's any one, I would say that could probably break into that elite group would be probably Belgium. I don't think Croatia would go as far this World Cup as they did in the last World Cup. Maybe a country like, Uruguay are strong as well from South America, but I don't think that they have the quality for the latter stages. I think the world champion is going to come from the likes of the usual suspects, the Brazils, the France, the Germanys, England, I believe, have a chance. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they have the potential to go deep into the tournament. But I think the world champion would come from the usual suspects.
Yeah, and leading into the World Cup, players missing due to injuries has been one of the major headlines. Is there any player that will unfortunately miss out that you would have liked to see?
Oh yes, I just saw the news this morning that Sadio Mane, he is going to miss the World Cup. He is a massive player for Senegal, and I can only imagine the anguish his coach must be experiencing right now. He's their most important player. He's a fantastic player. We're talking about a guy who finished second in the Ballon d'Or voting this year. So, a top player, and the World Cup is a lesser tournament, with him not being able to display his extraordinary talent. But of course, within Haaland, he's not injured, but it would have been good to see him at a World Cup, to see whether he could replicate his platform on the world stage, in the World Cup stage, that is.
Right, I'm going to put you on this spot now. Which 2 teams do you predict will match up in the finals? I had to predict mine today, actually.
I believe it's going to be Argentina versus Brazil. I think they are they in different parts of the draw? I think they are. I believe they are the 2 strongest teams, and I expect to see the both of them, or one of them at least, in the final. They are very strong.
Yeah, I can't let you leave without hearing your World Cup experience. You've been at the World Cup before. What would you say has changed from your time to what we're seeing now?
It's such a nostalgic time for me, because, I'm one of those players who, fortunate, one of the few players could say, yes, I played at one of these tournaments. And, I had my boys, it's so funny sometimes that if I go on their laptops at some point, and they're actually Googling me and looking looking at the old games that Trinidad and Tobago play. And it's just funny to look at. And, they look at me sometimes if, if I pick them up in the car or something, and they would say, Daddy, you actually played in a World Cup. And I'm like, yeah, of course I did. And they're like, yeah, but we can't believe it. We still can't believe it. It was a fantastic experience. And it was a very difficult thing to accomplish. I must say that. It's not easy to qualify for one of these tournaments, as you would know. Especially our section where we have the US and we have Mexico and Costa Rica, the usual powerhouses in the CONCACAF zone. So it is difficult. For the next World Cup, of course, you've got Mexico, the United States, and Canada. They're hosting the tournament. So that is a very good opportunity for the likes of Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and these countries to try to get another World Cup. Jamaica, I think they were a bit unfortunate, in my opinion. They had a very strong team, and unfortunately, they didn't qualify. But a World Cup experience is something that is very difficult to describe, but it's also very difficult to achieve.
Yeah, you speak about your experience, and I remember I was a little girl going to Naparima Girls, and I remember when we qualified for the World Cup and just the excitement in Trinidad and Tobago, the Soca Warriors song playing. Everybody knew the song at that point in time. The national flag on everybody's vehicles, It was a public holiday too. We got a public holiday for that because, back home, we love to celebrate our achievements, so we get public holidays. I can't wait for the next time, we can talk about that, about the Trinidad and Tobago team qualifying for the World Cup. But that aside, as we continue our preview, do you think Karim Benzema and Kylian Mbappe will be able to defend their World Cup title? Can France win it again?
Yes, I did leave France out because, the last time France won it, when they won it in 1998 and they defended their title in 2002, it was a very weak defense, and I purposely didn't include them in that. Now, on paper, they are very strong. We're talking about Benzema, we're talking about Mbappe, we're talking about Griezmann, we're talking about Dembele, we're talking about Koeman as well. Raphael Varane, Hugo Lloris, World Cup winning captain, goalkeeper. So they are strong. It depends on which France turns up. If France turns up and they're very focused and they are disciplined throughout the tournament, of course, they are another team that could go deep into the tournament. But just because of their history and they have a tendency of having a bit of indiscipline in their camp, I'm not too hopeful that they would go on and win this tournament. And since Brazil won it back to back in 58 and 62, no other team have been repeated champions. So it's a very difficult thing to do as well. So in terms of France winning it, I think it's unlikely.
Right, and one more before you go. Do you have a dark horse for this year's tournament? If there was to be an upset, who is it coming from?
Well, my dark horse was actually Senegal, just because of the influence that Sadio Mane had. When we say dark horse, you would say a country like Spain, but are they really a dark horse? They can't really say Belgium either because they've always been there and thereabouts. They've never won the World Cup. I always like surprises, maybe one of the African teams. I'm not sure. Uruguay, as I mentioned before, they have good attacking players as well. So it's going to be a difficult one, honestly, Maria. It's really difficult to see anyone besides the usual champions, becoming world champion come December 18th, I think it is.
Yeah.
The final. So maybe Uruguay, possibly.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Well, Kelvin, I want to thank you so much for joining me on In Case You Missed It. It was definitely appreciated, and I hope your pick wins.
We'll see. Have a good one.
You too, take care. Well, folks, that's a wrap for today's episode of In Case You Missed It. Thank you for joining. Be sure to like, share, and comment. And let me know in the comments below which is your World Cup team. Goodbye for now.